Brazil have got to go away to a good start, winning the women's singles. We're about to see the men's singles. The players about to make their way onto court.
Please give a hand to our players for the second match today. Representing Brazil, Felipe Meligeni Alves, joined by Captain Rafael Pacharoni. And their opponents, representing Italy, Lorenzo Musetti and coach Vincenzo Santopadre. Coach Captain.
So there we go, they're the players representing their country here today. Lorenzo Musetti of Italy up against Felipe Meligeni Rodrigues Alves. And if you bear with us, we'll just call him Felipe Alves, and I think that's an awful lot easier. It's quite a mouthful otherwise. We're looking forward to this. My name's Jeff Masters alongside of Josh Eagle. And Josh, it's a bit of a step up here for Alves, isn't it? He's had some success at the challenger level. He has played Davis Cup for his country before, but he's up against a quality player here in Musetti.
Very good afternoon to you, Jeff. And yes, I couldn't agree more. It's Lorenzo Musetti really is one of the hot players on the ATP Tour. Just 20 years of age and winning 2 titles, as we know, in 2022. Well, Felipe Meligeni Alves, his uncle, Fernando Meligeni, made the semi-finals of the French Open back in the day, so he comes from good pedigree, but it really is a big ask, I would imagine, today for Felipe, and one that he looks pretty excited about. We've seen him in the lead-up here working pretty hard on the court, but Musetti, boy, what a talent this young man is, 20 years of age.
Let's hear their welcome and all the specifics from the chair.
Okay, gentlemen, welcome to the United Cup. So today we have live electronic line calling. So all the calls are made by the system. You will have close calls shown on the boards. We do have the serve clock on the backboard and the side. Time start after announce the score. For the towels, you have boxes with your flag inside. Apart from that, TV changeovers and net device. Any questions? After the toss, we do a picture with him on that side, please. Do you want ATP or the world? ATP is called. ATP? Receive? That side? Good match.
So Musetti, he's one of several terrific Italian players at the moment. They've got some quality men and women coming into the sport. Lots of challenger events and a lot of tournaments to be played in Italy at the moment, and they're reaping the rewards of that. And this young fellow here, he's wow, he's been on the lips of several people who know a lot about tennis for some time.
Yeah, no doubt, isn't it? Just for a 20-year-old to have won 2 titles, that's a big step up in anyone's career. And I just love the fact that he has a couple of guys in front of him, Yannick Sinner, Berrettini, so he's chasing those guys and they're driving Italian tennis, and they're really in a healthy position. As we focus on Felipe Meligeni, as you mentioned, Jeff, 166 in the world. That's primarily on the Challenger Tour, which is, it's very different, isn't it? It's a different intensity on tour and a different speed, and he'll find that today.
Yeah, he's had success on the Challenger Tour. He's won 6 titles. His first came in 2018. His favourite surface, not surprisingly, is clay. So it's a lot quicker here on the hard courts here in Brisbane. That will test him out. His most recent success was a semi-finalist in the Brazilian Challenger in November of 2022. And as you mentioned, his uncle, former player, was a number 25 best ranking on the tour. And this young man here today, he's a former winner of the US Open boys doubles in 2016. Musetti, though, now on screen, well, his pedigree is already relatively well established. Still only 20 years of age, as Josh mentioned. Born in Carrara in Italy, has 236,000 followers on Instagram. That's 1 or 2 more than you and me, I should think, Josh.
Oh, absolutely. Carrara, a very famous part in Tuscany in Italy, where they're renowned for marble. They make very beautiful marble statues. So that's my little bit of knowledge about Carrara. But he's typical Italian. He's flamboyant, wonderful shot maker. We'll see him hit winners from all parts of the court. And I guess the point of difference for me, Jeff, is he's a single-hander. You don't see that these days that often, particularly from a young player.
Not successfully anyhow.
No, it's so hard, isn't it, as a single-hander? I mean, just given how big the game has become in terms of serving, to return as a single-hander. So it can be done. We've seen it with Federer, we've seen it with Wawrinka. And let's see if Musetti can reach those heights. But
well, it's taken him to win 2 titles last year, or this year, Josh. He won in Naples on hard courts and Hamburg on the clay. He's been a 4th round participant at the French in 2021. He led Novak 2 sets to love there.
That's right.
So that gives you an idea of the quality of this Italian. His best wins in Naples were defeating Berrettini in the final. Of course, in Hamburg, he defeated Alcaraz, and that was the youngest ATP Tour final since 2005. Both those men at the time, Alcaraz and Musetti, 19 years of age. First meeting of the two, as you would expect, because as we've mentioned, Alves just not used to playing at this tour level. He's been a challenger player, and it's taken him a while to get to this stage. He's struggled just to get past that really good challenger level. So let's see how he handles himself today. Representing his country, of course, it's always something pretty special, isn't it?
Well, it is, and he's got a free swing. You know, we've just seen the result where Haddad Mai got the win for Brazil. Team Brazil can apply a bit of scoreboard pressure, and there's nothing to lose for Felipe Alves in my mind. He's got to go out there. He's got to try and play his game. I think it's important that he doesn't try and overplay, because this man on screen here, you know, we know that he will try and dictate play with his shot making. Quite often you see a player ranked in the mid-100s come out and they try and do too much. They think they're playing a top 20, top 30 player that they need to just overplay, and that's a common mistake that you see. Let's just see how the 24-year-old from Brazil can handle this occasion.
Musetti is currently ranked 23rd in the world, which is his highest ranking. I expect in 2023 to see him go a little further than that. He's relatively average height these days for a tennis player, 6 feet 185 centimeters. Not particularly robust. He's quite fine of build. He says the best quality that he's got is he's a hard worker, but then it's a bit of a conundrum. He says his worst quality is he's lazy. How does that work? You can explain that to me.
That's a mix-up in communication, I think, but
his nickname is Muse. He began playing at aged 4. How old are you?
Late, 8, 9.
Oh,
Slow learner. This man, he's not a slow learner. He'll come out of the blocks quickly, I anticipate today.
Lorenzo Musetti for Team Italy to serve.
We're good to go. Musetti for Italy.
Play. Love.
Court's playing pretty quick here on Pat Rafter Arena. It's interesting, isn't it? You know, it's a hard court. It's not the same speed every week or every year. It's the way it's laid, the way it's painted. But when we watch, we've had the luxury of being courtside and watching the players train the last few days. You can just see it's pretty quick. So it's a fair surface for an aggressive player and also for the defender. I like it.
Yeah, you mentioned the conditions change a little bit. Also, the balls, they make a difference as well, don't they? It's one of the vagaries of the tour. Every week, potentially, you've got different balls that you're using, and they've got slightly different characteristics from time to time, from brand to brand. Terrific second serve, a sign of confidence from the Italian.
Yeah, huge 172 km/h second serve down the tee. Always love to see these early weeks in the year to see what the players have improved on the off season or what they've been working on in their games.
Game.
Very comfortable hole, some good serving from Musetti. Team Italy, opening game.
First game.
Fair bit of easy power there, Jeff. I like that's a good sign, isn't it, of a class player that you can see he's not striving for power. It's controlled.
Well, I think that's backed up by the fact that he's one of the hard surfaces, not just comfortable on clay, which is a surface he would have played on primarily. His game lends itself to almost any surface.
A big advantage for the, a good advantage for the Europeans is they, in the summer they play on the clay, then in the winter months they play on the indoor. A lot of that is an indoor hard court, and so they really do get a good grounding of both surfaces these days. You know, they're not the typical clay quarters of yesteryear where they could only win on clay. That's changed. You got Berrettini, Sinner, Musetti, Fognini.
love.
Felipe Alves, just 24 years of age. He's 185 centimeters tall.
Love. Love.
Well, very little signs of
Team Brazil.
concern or lacking in confidence there from Alves. An excellent opening service game for Team Brazil.
It's a real confidence booster, isn't it? You come out of the block really quickly on your opening service game. You really feel like you're in the match.
Love.
Excellent depth.
Love.
Bit of a family affair here, Josh, in the Brazilian team.
There you go. That's the sister on the left with the blue of Felipe Alves is also in the team here. Just grabbing a bite to eat.
Carolina is her name, plays on the WTA Tour.
Yeah, the older sister, 26 years of age, and currently ranked 216 in singles.
Well, both players serving exceptionally well and getting through their service games with consummate ease. So, Team Italy, 2-1. Lots of information being able to be achieved by looking at the data on the tablets, etc., and the team zones.
You can see that screen there, just left of the screen. It's a valuable tool for players, the analysis, the stats of what the players and the coaches are looking at. A lot of that would be first serve percentages, location of where the opponent is serving.
Well, indeed. Just an opportunity to bring you up to speed with exactly what we've got here in Brisbane and certainly the state of Queensland. This is the Great Barrier Reef, which is the northern part of the state of Queensland, where Brisbane is the capital city, a magnificent part of the world. I've certainly been there, as has Josh. Some of the clearest blue water you'll see, and opportunities aplenty for everything on the water, from parasailing and getting on some of that incredibly fine sand that is so unique to the area. So if you're out in Queensland at any stage, make sure you visit the Great Barrier Reef, one of the great wonders of the world. As I said, here in Brisbane, it is the capital of the state of Queensland.
Love 15.
Just pressing a little much there as we have a look
Love
at the
30.
captain of the Brazilian team, Rafael Pacciaroni.
And this is where it comes into play, isn't it, where you think you have to do more than sometimes what you usually do week in, week out. Hence a few too many unforced errors tend to happen. Probably the weaker side, isn't it, the one-hander, Jeff? I think when he has time and he gets on the front foot, Musetti, that's when he's very dangerous. But we saw then he just wasn't set quite in position and tried to overplay. And I think he's still learning on how to use the return, whether you chip it or you try and hit over it from time to time. So I think that shot will evolve throughout his career. I actually think this is a great surface. This surface here at Pat Rafter Arena is perfect for a good slice because it's receptive. As we take a look at it technically, the key is getting this one-hander right out in front. When he gets it out in front and he can get good racket head acceleration through it, that's when he's at his peak.
So he's dug a little hole for himself here, Alves, 1540, unforced errors. Oh, it's a gem, isn't it? Down the line, made it look very simple, and it earns the Italian the first break.
That's classy. That really is classy.
3 games to 1.
This is such a difficult shot. We'll see in slow motion. Look how far he is behind the court, but great athletic ability to move into the court. Great awareness, taking it early, gets it right out in front. That is a super shot.
Let first service. 15 love. Stop, fault. Ball was called out. First serve fault. The first serve, yeah.
Electronic line calling here, and we didn't hear that call come automatically, but the chair did. Second serve coming. As Josh mentioned, the court conditions are quite bouncy, and that ball there for Alves just got up a little higher than he expected out of his comfort zone, and the ball just ballooning long as a result. Not sure the coach of Musetti would be particularly impressed with this decision.
Looks good.
I'm not sure I've ever tried that shot, and
Jeff, you got to get up with times. That's how they play. It's cool.
I think I've left my run a bit late.
Left for service.
Yep, 30 all. Bit of pressure now after playing the shot between the legs at 30 love. That's
30 all.
what you don't want as a coach. You sit on the sideline often when you're coaching a player and you just think, why would they do that? But when you're playing the match, it seems like a good idea at the time.
There's the coaching duo there. Chinzo Padre is the official captain. He's the one with the least amount of hair. Well, there we go. It may pay. He may have to pay a price for that between the legs attempt. Musetti, he's looking now, having to stave off a break point of his own. Oh, it's a jam from Alves. More of his own medicine that time. Straight down the line backhand, breaks back. We're on serve. Team Italy leading though, 3-2.
Italy leads 3 games to 2.
Cracker of a shot there from Alves. And, that tweener, as we suggested, perhaps was not the right choice after all, Josh. Let's have a little look more at what is on offer here in Queensland. There's so much to do and see always, not the least of which is the city itself, called the River City. The river meanders right through the CBD. Of course, you can get on those scooters, little tours of the scooters along the river, the Story Bridge up the top of the screen there. You can hire bikes as well. Kangaroo Point Cliffs.
They've done a great job.
There they are.
Great job, haven't they, Brisbane, of just building in activities in and around the city, and that river really is a sensational part of this magnificent state, as is this shot here from Alves. Just hits it perfectly, gets the outside of the line. You can see it just shoots away. Carolina there in the middle. That's the sister of Felipe, absolutely loving it.
As was the team captain there, Rafael Maccheroni. Very impressed, and rightly so.
Benjamin Musetti at 3-1-30 love. He had all the momentum, approaching on a good shot, and all of a sudden he finds himself losing serve back on serve at 3-2. That's a good fight back, really, from Alves.
Love 15. Love 30.
These unforced errors are just starting to mount from the racket of Alves. 7 at this point.
Love 40.
Oh, this is a very poor game from Alves, just losing his way. Well, it was a mishit, but I think, yes, it's just missed. It was almost the perfect mishit, but not to be. So Musetti is handed back really at a break that he'd just given away the previous service game. So 4-2 now for Team Italy.
And Jeff, that's the difference, isn't it, a lot of the times between a challenger player and a top tour player. That level of intensity for long periods of time, you just can't afford to play loose games, and that's going to hurt Alves at this top level.
love. Love.
Didn't serve an especially high number of aces during the regular season, 2022, did the Italian. Just 209, in fact. But he has a lovely rhythm going here in this match. So 4 aces already. And several of unreturnable quality.
Game, Team Italy.
Well, 8 consecutive points going the way of Team Italy, and Musetti takes advantage. 5-2.
Games to 2.
Well, plenty to do around Brisbane, both indoors and outdoors. And one of them is what's called the Brisbane Valley Rail Trail. So it's the longest of its kind in Australia. 161 kilometres of disused rail corridor that's been opened up for walkers, bike riders, horse riders. And I've seen a part of that when I was out Nanango way a little earlier this year, Josh, and it's a fun thing to do. Getting out some of the regions around Brisbane. So much to do just in the environs around close by Brisbane. Dozens of national parks, of course, some of which are only 10 kilometres from the city. So plenty on offer. And don't forget, of course, Brisbane is the 2032 home of the Olympics. So you might want to come down to Brisbane and check it all out in advance to see what might be on offer in 2032. Right now, it's that man, Musetti. He feels like he's got this first set on offer.
Good communication there, coach left of screen. On the right is the captain. That's Musetti's coach there on the left. On the right is team captain Lorenzo Musetti. He was a former player, to 100 in the world, and his claim to fame, Santapadre, we know he coaches Berrettini, but his family own a trattoria in Rome, where a lot of the players during the Rome tournament like to frequent and have a nice Italian meal. So he's pretty popular. Get a booking there anytime if you're friends with Vincenzo.
Well, he had to do it the hard way. He had such a terrific down-the-line shot. He should have come forward, Alves, but his follow-up shot, the forehand, was good enough.
You can see here, new balls in play, just really shooting off the court. It's fast when the ball is compact, fresh out of a tin or a can.
30 love. $30-15.
Yeah, Alves, he's not your typical clay court player from Brazil that we've seen over the last 10 or 20 years that uses heavy topspin. He's actually quite an aggressive ball striker from the baseline. It's just the unforced error count that's just hurting him a little too much, though.
$40-15.
Interesting thing at the moment is he's winning more points off his second serve, Alves, than off his first serve. Only winning 42% of points when the first serve goes into play, 60 when the second serve is required.
Game, Team Brazil.
So there's a point going his way off a first serve. So he's still
Team Italy
within
leads
striking
5 games to
distance.
3.
It's a pretty tight bench there, isn't it? Tight-knit group, as all the teams have been. We've noticed that they've really been spending a lot of time together as a team in the player restaurant.
15 love.
Well, the points are very quick, as Josh has mentioned. Conditions are as such, relatively quick. Only been on court for 25 minutes. And Musetti, he's feeling like he's just about to cross the finishing line of this first set. In fact, he's just 1 point away from doing just that. And a very good second serve down the middle, just confirming what seemed to be obvious just a couple of minutes ago, that Musetti has lots of class, a little too much at the moment. 6-3, Team Italy.
Yeah, real dominant display. I think apart from just that one little lapse of, we'll call it a lapse in concentration, where there's a shot between the legs there from Musetti, but that's a dominant display. That's a good start to his campaign, and not only is he winning on the scoreboard, but his ball striking. You can't just keep doing what's not working. Let's see if he comes out with different tactics. That's it. That's that slice. Just nasty on this court, on this Pat Rafter arena. It just skids through. It stays low. And these guys with quite an extreme grip on the forehand like Alves does, it's not that easy to get under it.
$15-all. $15-30.
First double fault of the match for Alves. But, he needs to find his rhythm here. He doesn't want to go down an early break here in this second set. Well, Musetti, full of experience, realizing that Alves is just tightening up a little. That second serve very short, and Musetti way inside the baseline. Hit a cracker.
No doubt one of the shots of the day for me. This again, he's just such a classy player. He makes that look so simple, but it's actually a difficult shot once it gets up above that shoulder to generate that amount of pace.
The day so far, but all in vain, unfortunately, for Alves. Musetti with all the answers, breaks first game of the second set.
Doesn't get any better than that. Have a look at the athletic ability of Musetti. This looked like a winner for everyone's money, and just the pickup and the shot between the legs wasn't far off being made there. So incredible stuff from Musetti. Gets the early break, and he is looking so dominant, and don't they love it? Well, Musetti, as we can just see, this is a really interesting stat. You can see this is Musetti returning on that first serve. Most of the time, 60% of the time over there, that is to Alves' backhand. So he is targeting the Alves backhand. And just that 7%, that was that one brilliant backhand winner where he stepped up into the court, the only one of the match where he's in fact hit a return to the forehand of Alves. So tactically, great awareness here from Musetti, really targeting the backhand there of Alves.
$15-love. $15-all.
just like to see Alves just tighten it up a little bit, where
30-15.
he goes through a period in this match, 5-10 minutes, where he just refuses to miss. And if that means that Musetti then hits winners, that's okay. But just the unforced errors is really not doing him any favours. He can't create any pressure by this type of tactics. Hasn't changed his return stance. He's typically stood up there pretty close to the baseline to try and return serve for the bulk of this match. I'd be looking to adjust that, try and buy a little bit of time, step back into the court.
$40-30.
Little concern there on sister's face. Carolina, sister Felipe. Well, it's unforced error number 13, and with it, another game going the way of the Italian, to love.
Italy leads 2 games to love.
He's a man who can play a bit.
Can serve a bit. There's no doubt about that. He's got a big serve, big forehand. Berrettini, we'll see him in action all week here as well.
A good team, Italy. This is Group E. Today, Italy, Brazil and Norway in this group.
I think they're particularly strong with this man here, Musetti, as a number 2, ranked 23 in the world.
Well, it's good to see Alves come in then, because he's hit quite a few probing ground strokes and pushed Musetti deep and having to defend, and he's not come forward. On this occasion he does, and that builds the pressure. Needs to come forward a little more often off some of these very good ground strokes that he's hitting.
$30-love. $40-love.
Good speed, 173 Ks, and getting some nice slide on the ball, taking Musetti way out of court. Well, he's far from being out of this match. The Brazilian.
Team
Musetti earned it at this stage.
2 games to 1.
Team Italy set in 2-1. So, of course, we are in the southern hemisphere here, which is summertime, and it's all about the water, swimming pools, the beaches, the river, of course, which meanders through the city of Brisbane. So many terrific vantage points in the city. That is South Bank. It's very much a swimming pool in the heart of the city that is frequented by the locals. And of course, we get out on the river at any time, cruising under the Story Bridge. You can see the CBD there, very much front and center of this very pretty Brisbane river.
few running repairs there, getting a couple of rackets re-gripped. Warm today here in Brisbane, 28 degrees, humid. It's the traditional white overgrip that most players use.
Must have someone do it for you with the change of ends.
That's right. Always feels great when you get your racket re-gripped. It feels just
almost
right.
like a new wrist.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
Lots of support of the change of ends from the captains and the team bench in the team zone for this man, Alves, representing Brazil. He's trailing by a set and 2-1 against Italy's Musetti. Well, he's hit that second serve, Josh, just exceptionally well. Lots of variety, good speed, and changing direction regularly.
Yeah, I'm loving that he's just not being predictable, and by that I mean just serving second serves to the backhand. He's willing to hit a lot to the forehand. On second serve, that's a sign of confidence, no doubt. I'm loving Musetti, his mentality. He's been very level-headed.
Won the Australian Open Junior title here, 2019.
40 love.
There's a fellow who was a wonderful player in his day. Ken Rosewell lives on the Gold Coast here in Queensland these days. One of the greats. And of course, the final of this event, this United Cup, will be played in Sydney at Ken Rosewell Arena. And I'm sure Ken will be down there for that as well.
(40-15).
Talking about good one-handed backhands, Ken Rosewell.
Yeah. He's a great man. I have coffee with Ken every 4 or 5 weeks. He's still in good shape. He's bumped into something, though, by the look of it. He's got a little scratch on his head, but he's a good man.
Wait, please. Wait, Lorenzo, wait, please. Can you grab the paper just next to me, please?
Chair umpire Aurélie Torch from France.
Game Team Italy.
Just not making any headway of recent times, Alves, on the Musetti serve.
3-1.
So much of it comes from getting those early points as well, doesn't it? You've got to get 1 or 2 early points to give yourself a much better chance of building scoreboard pressure to break the serve, and he hasn't been able to do that. Other than that one opportunity that was pretty much gifted to him. Musetti lost serve, having been up 30-love, played the tweener and lost his concentration and subsequently lost his serve midway through the first set.
(15-love).
Great to see Alves up at the net. I like that. You know, you can see he's got reasonable hands, particularly on that backhand. Gets the volley out in front.
(15-all).
And I think tactically, Jeff, it would be a good play for Alves to try and attack the one-handed backhand of Musetti a bit, come in, make him play a few passing shots. Just ask that question.
40-15. $40-15.
189 k's an hour, pretty good pace. Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? Taking the ball so early, not allowing that ball to get up above shoulder height.
40-30.
I like the subtleties where he returns Musetti. That one well inside the court, he takes it nice and early, so that just takes time away from the server, but quite often he'll drift deep in the court, so he's always changing it up.
Oh, no. I mean, he's come in once or twice, Josh, and I think his technique's okay, but you can see he doesn't seem comfortable with the front part of the court. He had a choice to go forward here and take it in the air. Instead, he let it bounce.
Yeah, he almost hits it too hard when he's approaching, so, you know, you don't get close enough to the net then to play the volley. It's a bit of indecision.
Let first service.
Definitely needs a couple of first serves here just to try and hold on. Really big difference in this match for me is the second serve. The stats on the second serve, when we look at the points.
Team Brazil.
Points won on second serve. It's 92% for Musetti and it's only 36% for Alves. So the quality of your second serve, the old saying, Jeff, you're only as good as your second serve. It's certainly true in this match.
Yeah, Musetti's second serve has been top-notch.
Deuce.
First sort of tight shot we've seen from Musetti all match. Just sort of guided that forehand. He knows it.
Just misses, so Alves does well to hang in there, just down that one service break in the second set. Immediately, set 3-2. So Brisbane, of course, is on the east coast of Australia, so very much around a lot of waterways. Brisbane River, very much the centrepiece. Done that, Josh?
No.
Scooter riding around the river?
Haven't tried that, but it looks like a whole lot of fun.
Yeah, ride your bike around the centre of the city as well. And what about that? Abseiling down Kangaroo Point Cliffs.
Yeah, that looks a bit steep for me. I have seen it, and it's popular amongst the tourists and the locals. There's no doubt about it. He's looking very much in control, calm. It's been a great performance to start his campaign here at the United Cup for Team Italy.
Says he'd be an actor if not for tennis. What do you think?
Well, he's very skillful at tennis, and
it's not bad looking either, is it?
No. Very stylish, like most of the Italians.
Indeed.
You'd expect him to sort of be in a magazine or magazine cover. Well, his team member, Matteo Berrettini, very much is, but I'm pretty sure Musetti won't be far off that in the years to come.
Love 15.
You into tattoos, Josh?
Well, I like that one. That's one of the better ones, isn't it? That's from Musetti.
So I guess that's the heartbeat of a monitor with a racket through it. It's different, subtle.
Yep. Just that from that last game where Musetti just pushed or guided that forehand.
Love
been
30.
this little subtle shift here. Just, and you often see it around the hour mark. We're only 51 minutes into it, but at a set and 3-2, he should be feeling pretty confident. But this is a delicate situation in the match here. Alves, he's done well to really hang in.
Yeah, just getting closer to the baseline as well now, Alves.
Love 14.
A much more aggressive decision.
And doesn't it show you the importance or the value? Win the first point of the game as a returner. You really feel like you're a chance of breaking. You're in the game, and all of a sudden, he's got 3 break points, Alves.
Well, this will
15-40.
be a very important moment for Alves, because at this sort of stage, you can imagine that Musetti, with his experience, even though he's still so young, he just won't miss. He'll lock down here at this stage, and it'll be up to Alves to see if he can win the point, take it from him, because it's unlikely that Musetti's going to miss. That will be his mindset, at least. Oh, he does miss. A very tentative forehand there as Josh Eagle picked up just a game ago. And congratulations to Alves. He's just hung in and hung in. He's been rewarded 3-all.
Yeah, great result, really. Down to set 3-1, he was juicy, just really struggling to hold on. But this is really unusual from Musetti for such a good player. Just watch this, decelerates. That's in the bottom part of the net. And that's funny. Sometimes you're playing a match and he's been in total control, Musetti, and then all of a sudden when you're under a little bit of pressure, then you start to question yourself. Let's see Musetti's response right here.
Love.
A little concern we saw there just moments ago on the respective coaches of Musetti, the captain and his individual coach right there.
Yeah, forehand's totally gone missing in action this last 5 minutes. It's like he's in two minds. He's unsure whether to be aggressive and go for it or just to try and make it.
He says in his bio that his favourite shot is his forehand. It's just letting him down at the moment, Musetti.
Sensational. This is such a good period in the match for Alves. As clean as a whistle, right out in front.
It's amazing, isn't it, how momentum shifts happen in live sport, and certainly the case in tennis as well. It can happen quickly. There's very much a little mini momentum shift at the moment, going the way of Alves of Team Brazil. That's a gem, and Alves has done exceptionally well in this second set. He's turned the momentum around. He's in the lead, 4-3. Terrific effort from the young man whose success has primarily been at challenger level. So plenty else to think about other than tennis here in Brisbane. Brisbane is home of 3 of the largest sand islands in the world. One of them is Fraser Island that you can drive along right here. It's a huge sand island. It's also known as Gary in the Aboriginal name for Fraser Island. So many of these islands are right on the doorstep, and you can go sliding down some of these huge sand hills. It's a lot of fun. Get up to speeds of 60 kilometres an hour, in fact, boarding down some of those sand hills. So Moreton Island and Fraser Island just at the doorstep as we have a look at this last point here and this forehand. No hesitation, no deceleration here, Josh.
No, it's a sign of confidence, isn't it, from Felipe? And look at the response. He's starting to believe. For the large part of this match, he was a passenger where he was probably just happy to be playing out here on Pat Rafter Arena. But there's been such a shift in this last 10 minutes where he might just sit down at that change of ends and think, I can actually win this match. So a really crucial part of this match coming up now. Can he go on with it? Fascinating to see what Musetti can do to break himself out of this funk that he's in. Played brilliantly for 50 minutes of this match. It's just been going for about 58 minutes, but the first 50 minutes he was sublime. Musetti didn't put a foot wrong, but now it's on serve, and Alves just asking a few questions. And this is the beauty of a team event, the United Cup, where you're not just playing for yourself, you're representing your country. And just maybe at another tournament, if he was out there, Alves, and he was down a set and a break, you know, you just wonder what the result may have been. But there's been plenty of fight and commitment here.
So it is the United Cup. It is about united performances of the men and the women. A little earlier it was Beatriz Adedmaya getting Brazil away to a 1-point lead. Defeating Italy's Martina Trevisan quite comfortably, 6-2, 6-love. So Italy needs to win this.
And there's Trevisan in picture. Yeah, great support from both team players in this tie. They've been up and about. They've been really supportive.
The team zones are a wonderful innovation again.
Oh. Just being a little more aggressive here, this game, Musetti, and that's when he's at his best.
One of the toughest shots, the backhand up the line, particularly for a one-handed player. It's difficult to get a lot of spin on the ball as a one-handed player, and he's 1.5 meters behind the baseline as well, so it's just perfectly timed, perfectly redirected.
He's got a read on this serve
40
as well.
30.
Felipe Alves at the moment, he's anticipating where the serve's coming.
Starting to bully Musetti around just a little, isn't he? Pushing the Italian very deep behind the baseline.
Advantage.
Very disappointed. He's done so well, Alves, in the second set to make a lot more returns. Got the return in play, but just didn't quite execute on that double-handed backhand. Been the big difference, I think, Jeff, for me, is just how well he has returned in this second set. Take a look at the returns made from Alves. Set one on the second serve, only at 33%, and now look at that, he's doubled that, he's at 67%, so he's really giving himself every opportunity now in this second set.
Advantage, Team Italy.
These are the big points, aren't they, that often separate winners and losers in the matches. He's come back from a deficit in this second set. He's in the lead at 4-3. It's juice. It's a big point. It's a pressure point. Second serve. He doesn't make it. The good players, and they've been given an opportunity.
Team Italy.
They know how to escape. So 4-all.
4 games sold.
No sign of panic from the Italians.
Love.
Body language is good. It has been all match, and he senses that he's made a really good comeback here. He's very much in it. He's projecting an image of success.
30 love. $30-15. $40-15. $40-30.
You can't blame him for making these unforced errors, because this sort of aggressive game style and free hitting is what's really got him back into the match. It's pushed Musetti back into the court. Just needs to hold on this game here.
Deuce.
Well, these are the stages of matches where you hope that you've been getting in your own mind a little bit of information where the players like to serve on these big points, these big moments, because right here they are big moments. Well, he's loved that shot, that inside-out backhand
Advantage.
from the first court.
Team Italy.
Spectacular.
And again, it looks easy, but this is such a hard return, because the server, he is leaning towards the backhand after he makes a serve. You watch how he falls, and then all the body weight's covering the backhand is just simply too good.
Well, he's been very resolute. Musetti didn't panic when he lost his way momentarily in the second set. He's righted the ship. 5-4.
5 games to 4.
Well, you need to be physically strong and you need to be mentally strong in any sport to succeed. Certainly Musetti here today certainly showed what he's made of emotionally. Still only a young man, 20 years of age, but no real emotional panic when things didn't go his way. He seemingly had things in hand in that second set. Just he's calm, and now you can see the disappointment there with Alves. His service game was Musetti, a 3-4 juice, second serve, and he didn't make the return, Alves, and he knows there are moments like that unless you take them against these top players, the second opportunity rarely comes again. So he's got a real job ahead of him now, Alves, to shake that off and see if he can get an early point or two here, first up on the Musetti serve. That's his first challenge. To see what he can make of it. And those approaches here with Musetti, pressing upon him the need to get the first couple of points. And the first in particular. First serves into play, well directed. The 20-year-old Lorenzo Musetti, playing for Team Italy, attempting to serve out this match.
A
perfect start. Third ace of this set, 8th for the match. The lone double fault of the match. Very deep. Well, seemingly Alves is quite comfortable now to play the Musetti forehand, because it's been that shot that when the pressure's been at its highest, the Musetti's become a little bit fragile, just losing the ability to really be aggressive with his swing.
30-all.
He's had good variety as far as change of direction on serve here today, Musetti. Alves there leaning the wrong direction. Musetti with now with match point.
Let first service. Game, set and match.
Lorenzo Musetti, the 20-year-old star, ties things up in this contest with Brazil. Gets the job over Alves in straight sets, 6-3, 6-4. Well, I think in the end he'll be well pleased with that match, Musetti, because it wasn't straightforward. It's the sort of match that you enjoy to get through, because there were moments of concern and hesitation for Musetti as Alves raised his level. Musetti had to be tough emotionally, regroup, find a way. So they're the sort of matches that stand you in good stead going forward. So congratulations to him there from his #1 team member, Berrettini, and of course now the rest of the his team members, both male and female. Very much a team event. The United Cup, the inaugural United Cup here in Brisbane at Pat Rafter Arena. And this contest, as I mentioned, between Italy and Brazil, all tied up. There will be 5 rubbers in this tie. 2 men's singles, 2 women's singles, and a mixed doubles. So we've had the respective number 2 players, male and female, contest the matches. And we've split 1 apiece. And there's the reaction of Musetti. Well deserved in just over an hour and 13 minutes to be exact. Good quality. Alves taking a good account of himself, given that he's primarily a challenger level player, so this is a big occasion for him, playing a man of this stature, and wasn't found wanting by too great a margin. All right, let's hear from the winner himself.
Okay.
Lorenzo, congratulations, great win and great way to start your campaign in the United Cup. How happy were you with your performance today?
Yeah, I mean, super happy here in Brisbane, my first time, and I'm happy to be here. We have a great team behind our back, and I'm happy to be, to get the first point and to get the first win here in Brisbane, and I'm sure tomorrow we will fight, and it's not going to be easy for sure, but we will try our best.
You looked really comfortable here on Pat Rafter Arena. Your game looks really suited to this court. How did you like the conditions here today?
Yeah, I mean, from the beginning, I was serving really good today, and I had to find the right rhythm in the return game, and especially when we were playing from the baseline, because the court is fast, so the conditions are, you have to be always really low, and it's not easy to play, but I think I showed a great first match of the season, so I'm happy, really happy about this win.
We know you had an unbelievable year this year in 2022, winning 2 titles. What can we expect from you this year?
Yeah, I mean, the end of the season was pretty amazing. I couldn't dream of any better, but for sure, now that I reached some of my goals, I try to put another one, new goals, and I will try my best. I have no points to save and to defend in the couple in the next month, so I will try my best here for Italy, for the United Cup, and then we will go straight to Melbourne. That's I think a key moment for the first month.
Well, congratulations, you were simply awesome today. You're on the board for Team Italy. Ladies and gentlemen, Lorenzo Musetti.
Thank you.
Very pleased with himself, I think. Lorenzo, understandably so. Just a perfect hit out, as I suggested a little earlier. He was pushed just enough to have to raise his game. And, as he mentioned, gets a win on the board for Team Italy, and they needed that, having gone down 1-0 in this contest with Brazil by virtue of losing the opening ladies singles. So they've got more matches to come, not today, but later, to play the #1 singles matches and then the mixed doubles. Good spectator numbers here today, both the young and old. And why not? An opportunity to see some of the best players in the world, both male and female. There's a host of them playing, of course, in 3 different cities around Australia: Perth at the RAC Arena, Sydney at Ken Rosewell Arena, and here in Brisbane at Pat Rafter Arena. This inaugural United Cup. 18 countries involved in all. 6 countries in each of the 3 cities, as I mentioned. Here in Brisbane, we've got Group E and B. Group E, As we've seen this afternoon, Italy and Brazil. The other team in Group B is Norway. They'll be in action later in the week. Looking forward to seeing Casper Ruud in particular in action for Norway. And the other group here in Brisbane, Group B, Poland, Switzerland and Kazakhstan. It will be Switzerland and Kazakhstan coming up here in Brisbane at Pat Rafter Arena tonight. Looking forward to that as Musetti gives some signatures to some fans. As we have a look at the match summary here. Musetti winning 6-3, 6-4, as I mentioned, in just over an hour. His first serve was very, very effective. 56% first serves in. He'd like to up that a bit, but when they went in, they were exceptionally effective. 9 aces to only 1 from his opposite number. And I think the difference really was the unforced errors that aren't showing on the screen, but they are on my stats board. 23 unforced errors from Alves as opposed to just 15 from Musetti. It was probably the real killer for Alves, particularly in the first set. He was just a little bit too erratic. So here's confirmation of the results here in this this Group E contest today. Initially, it was Beatriz Haddad-Mayer of Brazil getting the better of Martina Trevisan of Italy, 6-2, 6-love, and then confirmation of the match. We just saw Lorenzo Musetti getting over Alves in straight sets. Tonight, match to savour as well. Switzerland versus Kazakhstan. Belinda Bencic, she's been a top 4 player, currently number 12 against Putintseva of Kazakhstan. And Husler up against Skatov. That's the contest. Switzerland versus Kazakhstan coming up tonight. Thank you for your company. It's time for us to say goodbye. Until then, from Pat Rafter Arena, we hope you've enjoyed what we've brought to you today. Goodbye.